I'm 22 years old and just got the news I'm dying. I failed at life and am now leaving behind a 3-year-old daughter. As the title says, last week I got the news that I am dying from lung cancer from my doctor. Turns out smoking since I was 15 and then upping it to 3 packs each day a few years ago was a bad idea. Stupid, I know. I thought it wouldn't come so soon though. It's stage 4 and as of now, I have months to live. Please don't feel bad for me. I've done nothing good in life, except have my daughter, to really be sad about losing me. I have no family, because I grew up in the foster system and aged out at 18. My daughter's father is in prison for serious crimes that even if he got out, he wouldn't be allowed to be in her life. My daughter is only 3. We don't live in a good area, and when I go to work, I have to leave her with an elderly neighbor that always gets her name wrong every day. I don't want her to grow up like I did, in that foster care system. I feel like it's the reason why I messed up and did nothing good with my life. Yeah, I know it's not the only reason and my own stupidity caused most of my issues, but if I just had some family or a support system to keep me in check, it could have been better. I just want to give her some chance to have a better shot than I did. The thing is, I do have an idea for who could take care of her. One of my closest friends is a co-worker at my job, and she's amazing. While I'm at the bottom of the job, like if they need to lay off people, I would definitely be the first to go. She's their prized worker and makes serious bank. She has a good husband and a kid. I want to ask her if she would be okay with adopting my little girl once I'm gone. But I know it won't go well. The thing is, my coworker and her family are black, and me and my daughter are white. Like we both have blue eyes and can't tan white. There is no way I can ask my friend to adopt my daughter and force her to deal with those kind of issues an adoption like that will bring to her family. But then that just leaves my little girl to grow up like I did, in a shitty system with only a will of about $1,000 to help her and a necklace my mother had that I'm going to give her. I don't know if I should bite the bullet and ask my close friend if she is willing to take my daughter, or just suck it up and try to work as hard as I can to get as much money into my will for my girl. But either way, I failed as a mother. And that is a regret I am literally taking to my grave. Edit. Okay, I reached out to her and we were able to set up a place to meet. It's some simple cheap bakery you can eat inside. I'm going to ask her if she can adopt my daughter. That way if she says no, I can have more time to go to an adoption agency near us. Thank you for the support, everyone. Update. Alright, I'm back now. A day after my post, I was able to meet up with my friend/coworker. And after telling her about my diagnosis, which is something I haven't told anyone at work, I asked her if she was willing to adopt my little girl. She was shocked and tried to comfort me about my upcoming death. But she told me she couldn't give me her answer right then and there. Turns out, she does want a daughter, but something happened in her second pregnancy and caused her issues I don't feel right sharing. So she does want to consider adopting, but she first needed to talk to her husband and talk about planning if he agrees. I understood since it was a big change in their family. I said okay, and after we ate, she gave me a hug and told me she will miss me. This is embarrassing, but I actually started crying. I also started making the emails, gave me this idea, and I thought it was amazing. So I created an email for my daughter and started pre-recording videos for stuff. It's nowhere near ready, but I already have some ideas and recorded some videos for her birthdays and some big life events like first crushes and prom and first job. Sad to say, but I realized planning it that most of the videos will be "Don't do what I did." My friend reached out to me a few days ago and said that after having a long talk with her husband, they both are considering it. Apparently, they do this thing where after talking about a huge change in their lives they'll come to something to agree on and then wait for a while, and if they're still on the same page then it sounds like a good idea. She did tell me that it wasn't a yes though, there are some issues they want to fix first. She said that while they both really like the idea, they barely know anything about my little girl. Her husband and 6-year-old son haven't even seen her, and while she has seen and heard about her, it's from me. So she told me about a plan they came up with. For the rest of this month, I'm going to have to get up 2 hours earlier than normal to drop off my daughter at their house so her husband can watch over her as he works at home. Then I'll go to work with my coworker. This way her husband and son can get to know her. She also said she wants us to celebrate Christmas with them, so that's something to look forward to in the future. I've already done it yesterday, and when I went to go pick up my little girl, she was the happiest I've ever seen her in a long time. My friend's husband said that they went off on the wrong foot in the start. He said she was really scared sometimes and didn't want to play with their son yet, but since it was their first day he thinks she'll get better. We did it again today, and he said she mostly watched their son play, but it was already better than yesterday. So that's what's happening right now. I'm scared this will be for nothing, but at the very least, now, my daughter is getting better at their house for now. So even if they say no in the end, she already has some better memories than when she was with me. Relevant comments. TLA_Ava, sending you so much love, sweetheart. I hope you're able to enjoy your little girl and find peace knowing she'll be with a loving family, and even if it ends up not working out, you did and are doing your best to provide her with the best possible future. Just a recommendation with the email, get a backup, or backups, for the videos. Be it a CD, USB, online backup or others. I have an email I use to receive only, and it goes directly to my mail app on iPhone, so I don't directly log into the account on Gmail. Well, I got an email some time ago that since there's been no activity on the email for a few years, that the account would be closed in a few months. So I just sent myself a few emails, but it may happen. So please get a backup, because she'll definitely appreciate it. OP, thank you, I'll try to do backups in any videos. I think if my friend says yes after all of this, I'll tell her about email deletion so she could help stop that from happening. That does scare me, is doing all of the emails and having them lost before she can see them. Dark Recess - I know I'm only an internet stranger, but as a mom, I'm proud of you. You don't have much, but everything you do have is focused on your baby girl, and that's what makes a great mom. One thing I will say to add to the email idea, if you can, grab some loose sheets of paper or a small notebook and write down your favorite recipes, including all the things you add that make it something only you've made. Give that to her because one day she'll be happy to say, I made my mom's food. Write down little happy things you come across in the time you have left, not in email form but in your own handwriting because she'll treasure that in years to come and it's a tangible link to you. Write down places you like to go, favorite color, favorite music, things like that. Little pieces of you so she'll have something to physically hold on to when times get hard. You have all my love. OP, I was thinking of writing a letter for my little girl's 13th birthday. The only thing I have from my mom is this necklace that has been with me. I don't know what it is, but it has a lot of curls and hoops with a pretty almost clear stone in the middle. I was going to write a letter explaining the necklace is from her grandmother, and now since she would be old enough, it's going to be hers. I do have recipes I know she loves, that would be an amazing idea. She loves my egg salad sandwiches, so that's one recipe I'll write down. Thank you for the idea. Update 2. I'm back again. I'm sorry for being gone so long, a lot has happened, and this will be my last post. So this is going to be long, sorry. First, I started feeling real sick days after Christmas. My whole chest was hurting like someone was hitting it with a hammer over and over, and I was coughing up blood. My best friend was terrified that I caught something, because the doctors have said that me getting sick right now could be deadly, so we had to go to the doctor. Thankfully I didn't get anything, it was the symptoms getting worse. Also thankfully at the time I was still at work, so I didn't have to pay much for the bills. Yeah, that was another terrible thing that happened to me recently. After that trip to the hospital, my work called me in privately. Remember how I said that if something were to happen I would be the first to go? Guess what? The bosses were telling me how they couldn't keep me there as I'm dying because it wouldn't feel right, and how it's apparent to them my illness was slowing me down and forcing my coworkers to work harder to make up for me wouldn't be fair and all that. I know I was just causing more problems to my coworkers since I got diagnosed, but I didn't think they would complain about me to my bosses. I'm so stupid for that, of course I was being a pain. I was hoping to still be with them to the end of the month so I could pay my apartment rent. And I had barely enough money for bills, rent, groceries, public transport, and hospital bills. This is where my best friend slash former coworker comes in. After testing out caring for my little girl for a few weeks and spending a big holiday with them, she and her husband agreed to adopt her. She was telling me about some of her plans, and I told her it would probably be for the best that my daughter moves in with them. She asked me why, and I told her our work fired me and I wouldn't be able to care for both of us with so little money. She told me we both could move in with them, they have plenty of guest rooms I could pick. I swear I tried to say no, her family was already doing so much for us, I felt like this was too much. She told me I could be a huge help for them living there during my last months. Her husband could use the help looking after her as he works, I can help them decorate and fix up her new room, show them the foods my daughter likes to eat. So I promise I'm not going to be a bother to them, and we are hard at work getting the needed papers together for the adoption after I'm gone. Besides, me living there could help my little girl become more comfortable in her new home. And guess how rich her family are? They have a personal family lawyer. When I haven't been feeling sick, we've been working with him to make sure the adoption goes through. Okay, after all of that, I do want to share some other fun news. Christmas with them was probably the best Christmas my daughter and even I have ever had our entire lives. My friend's family had like 5 Christmas trees in their entire house. Thanks to my friend, I was able to make a really special Christmas gift for my daughter, a Build-A-Bear. Well, it was really a bunny, but still. I made a voice recording telling her how much I love and will always try to keep her safe. And my friend knows about the emails. I'm almost done with them actually, just a few more left. I gave her the password to both the email and this Reddit account so once I pass, she could delete this one. Sorry, but I've been getting so much messages, I don't want people to message me when I'm gone. And about the messages, I've gotten a lot since I updated. Apparently my story was shared on TikTok, that's cool. It's weird I've gotten so many people reaching out to me and messaging me wanting to talk. I've never had that happen in my life, it's funny how it happens once I'm dying. Tons saying how if my friends said no, they would love to adopt my little girl. Thank you, but thankfully my friend did say yes. But if you still want to adopt, please reach out to a foster care system in your state, there are still children struggling in the system going through what I did. Give those kids the life I could never have. I've also had some saying how they would love to pay me money to help. Please don't bother, sorry but it feels weird accepting money. My whole life I've worked for everything I've had, so it feels wrong accepting money and help from strangers, just because I'm dying. I do want to address a few messages I've gotten about race. Most were about why I cared about my friend's family, and me, and my daughter's race being different. It wasn't a lot, but a few called me a racist for caring about that. I want to say that my nerves about that isn't because I think me and my daughter being white makes us better than my friend. Far from it. I've seen a lot of stuff in the system and talked with other kids of different races. And those kids of different races were put into care with people who were also a different race from them. They would tell me the problems they faced from the parents, not that I'm scared my friend will do that, but also from the outside world. Being called names and insulted, one kid told me how she got screamed at by some older lady at a restaurant and the parents did try to get involved and it got into a nasty fight. So yeah, I was scared her family and my daughter would face the same bigotry the foster kids I knew from before faced. But I can't let my fears about some bigots ruin my daughter's chances. Anyways, this will be the last time I'm going to probably post on here. I don't want to waste my last days. I've thought about taking up painting again actually. I used to paint when I was in high school before I was dropped out, and once in the same school we've read a classic book about a world where books are banned. I don't remember a lot from this story, but I do remember at the ending when a character said you didn't waste life when you make something to leave behind. That always stuck with me. I want to paint something, maybe my friend could hang it up or keep it in their attic, but as long as I've left something behind my life wasn't for nothing, right? I also need to help my friend's family and my daughter settle into their new lives. Thank you to everyone for your kindness. And goodbye. Comments. Twinkling Blueies, what about your daughter's other parent? Grandparents? I'm sorry this is happening, but please consider family first. OP, Her father is in prison for a hopeful very long time because he did a crime involving children, so even if he got out he would not be allowed around her. Not like I would want him to. My parents are dead. Final update. I've wrote and deleted this post so many times. She asked me to update for all of you when she passed, and yet I couldn't until now, and for that I'm sorry. We buried her 2 weeks ago. My coworkers, our family, and even some friends she made over her life that she managed to keep in touch showed up to her funeral. When she saw the prices of what a casket and plot of land in the cemetery would cost, she had a panic attack, and so we told her we'll go with the cheapest prices. We lied about that. She deserved a good funeral and a nice resting place. Her name was Michelle. She was put into the foster care system when she was 3 after her mother passed in a car accident. She never knew her father. When she was 16, the man who was supposed to be caring for her took her out of high school. She found out she was pregnant from him when she was 18, and it was discovered he had horrible images and videos of children on his computer, and so was arrested. Ever since she was working and doing her damn best to make ends meet for her and her daughter. She got a job at our workplace just a few weeks after she turned 19. I only discovered just a few months ago she actually lied to get the job. I asked Michelle why she did that, and she responded, "Why would it be a big deal? They taught me everything anyways." That is the Michelle I knew. It shocks me reading over her messages she left behind. How little she thought of herself. She was always so confident, at least how we all saw her. She walked head held high and with a purpose. She never appeared out of control of a situation, except for the past few months, and honestly I believe she was allowed to have moments of panic and grief. Nothing went past her too. She seemed to know everything that was going on around her at all times. It also seemed like Michelle wasn't afraid of anything. She even made friends with some homeless people around the areas she lived in before moving in with us. One of them was Ted, who she knew because he was around a gas station besides the bus stop. Before her cancer took a turn for the worst and she was taken to a hospital, she asked me to drive her there. I thought at the time she wanted to see some familiar sights. But instead, she walked into the gas station, bought a sandwich, and then walked around the side and handed it to who I learned was Ted. Ted showed up to her funeral. I don't want to describe her last few weeks when she was alive. It was in the hospital and she was so weak and frail. Just not like her. We visited her as much as we could. Our children hated seeing her in such a state though. All of us did. But we couldn't just ignore her and leave her behind. I wonder if it was the right thing to do though. Our last visit, I just had a feeling it was the end. She was asleep when she finally passed on. She had gladiolus and poppies at her funeral. We all loved the meaning behind the gladioli flower, and she picked poppies because she loved calling our daughter her little poppy. We painted little poppies on her bedroom walls. She keeps asking us where her mother is. And always sleeps with the bunny Build-A-Bear Michelle made. Michelle never got to finish her painting, but I think that makes it more special. We're gonna hang it up in our daughter's room when she gets older. The emails are finished, and she's going to see her first one on her 4th birthday. We have all the letters and recipes she was able to write down tucked away in a safe location. Like the painting, we'll give them to her as she grows older. We also were able to apply our daughter for full Social Security survivors benefits, and we'll be putting those into a savings account for future college or life use. That's all I can think of right now. According to Michelle's wishes, I'll be deleting this account in a few weeks. My husband and I promise we'll raise our daughter to the very best we can and make sure she is as loved as Michelle loved her. Thank you all for your kind words and support.